Great. So we can get started. Hi, everyone. My name is Erin. I am the chair of Greener JC. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday evening. I hope everyone's been having a better 2021 as we arrive on the anniversary of COVID. I know everyone has such busy schedules still, so we really appreciate you joining us and checking in. So we'll get started. If you could hit next slide, Allison. Great. So here's a little quick agenda. Again, thanks for coming. And since we have a pretty small group, if you have any questions, feel free to either type it in the chat or unmute yourself and ask questions as you have them. We'll give a quick update on Greener JC initiatives, and then we'll get into the main event, the BudBurst. So next slide. So a quick thing is we have relaunched our new newsletter. So if you would like to join that, I'm going to put if you're not already a part of it, join the newsletter in the chat to make sure you're up to date on all our initiatives if you don't follow us on social media and prefer to get that email. So please subscribe and feel free to share with everyone. One of our other main initiatives this year and starting last year has been community solar. So community solar, for those who don't know, is a new program for New Jersey and has been approved. So how solar usually works is if I wanted to install solar on my house, I would either have to own my own house or my own property in order to use solar energy. Now with community solar, anybody can participate in solar energy and subscribe to a solar array. So here's a little graphic about how it works. And we're really lucky at Greener JC. We're partnering with two great organizations. Power Market is one of them, and the other one is called Solar Landscape. And we're working with these organizations to help spread the word about community solar and to help people sign up. So how it works is the solar array is constructed off-site, usually in your utility area or somewhere nearby. You would then subscribe to the solar array. You can subscribe as a homeowner. If you can't put solar on your own roof, you can subscribe as a renter. And I believe so you can subscribe even as a business if you have a utility bill to a community solar project. So the solar project receives sunlight and generates energy that then is put onto the local utility grid. That then, the energy just goes directly into your local grid. But then as a subscriber to that community solar project, you would receive a credit on your bill for the energy produced for your share of that project. So there's one big giant array, and I subscribe to a little bit based on my energy use. Somebody else subscribes to a certain portion. So then you would receive a credit on your PSE&G bill. And it's kind of a monthly savings. And you're expected between 10 and 15% savings. So there's more information about it on our website at greenerjc.com/communitysolar. Or recently, we had an article up on everythingjerseycity.com, which also has a little bit more information about the two organizations, Solar Landscape and Power Market. So definitely check those out and feel free to reach out to us if you have more questions about community solar.
Erin, I just want to, can you hear me? Is there any other benefit for people to signing up to community solar aside from just being more sustainable? Like, do they get anything in return? Yes.
I think the main reasons of why you should sign up, I myself have already signed up, is you're supporting local clean energy in your area. These projects, these solar arrays are being built in New Jersey, so you're supporting a more local clean energy. So instead of energy being generated from natural gas or fossil fuels coming from outside of the state, we're getting it here local. So I think that's a really great reason. As well as a lot of these, solar arrays are supporting job creations. Solar Landscape specifically has a robust program where people can get trained in solar, becoming a solar installer. So I think that's a really another great point. And, you also save some money. So better for the environment and a little better for your wallet. Thanks, Allison. And just another couple quick updates is we had a really great internship program last summer, and we continued with a few of them this fall, and have currently one this spring. We would definitely like to have another robust internship program in the summer. So in order to continue that, we are hoping for some donations. So if you have the time or the availability to do that, you can donate at greenerjc.org. Your funds will support students. We provide them, with field guides and binoculars, as well as stipends for them. We do, want to support them, especially in these challenging times financially. So I think we'll head on to the main event, and I will pass it over to Allison, who is our Secretary of Greener JC.
Thank you. I'm not the best secretary, though. That is a group effort keeping this ship running. Okay, so thank you everyone who was able to join us this Thursday evening. And I did just want to add to Erin's point, actually, get to global climate change in a second, but that 100% of the funds that we receive in Greener JC go toward what the initiatives that we do in the community. Just want to let you guys know that any member of Greener JC or of their board, we do not actually pay ourselves for it. So if you, any money that you would give would go directly toward this project. So cool. All right, so I'm going to be talking about BudBurst. It's a community science initiative, and it is not something that Greener JC created. It is a project actually of the Chicago Botanic Garden. So we will be using infrastructure that is already in place and is being utilized all over the country and probably all over the world. Okay, so before we get started about BudBurst, and I'm probably preaching to many people who understand what global climate change is, but I'll just give a little bit of context and a review. So climate change itself refers to the broad range of changes that are happening on our planet as a result of increased levels of greenhouse gases in our atmosphere. What are some of the effects? Well, we have average temperatures have increased. We have rising sea levels, shifts in a plant's growing season, and something that we have recognized here in Jersey City are, with Superstorm Sandy, intensified storms, right? So see, these are just some of the changes that have resulted as a result of global climate change. And we know, and all of you, I imagine, know that the climate is getting warmer. Earth's global average temperature in 2020 was tied with 2016, and it's the warmest year on record, right? As analyzed by NASA. So we know that global climate change is happening, and I think that what we typically focus on with community outreach is, well, what can we all do to cut back some of the behaviors that we do that contribute to global climate change. And that's important. We still need to continue to do that. But one of the really cool things about this project is it allows for us, and I'm going to skip right over this. Oop. To study the effect of climate change here in Jersey City. Right? So is it possible for us to recognize or to study how plant growing seasons have changed? Yes, we absolutely can. And we can do this by studying phenology. So phenology is just the study of timing of biological events, right? So here we have a very cute little animal, I can't even remember what animal this is, maybe someone knows, who is going into hibernation like a little cutie pie. But we can also, other biological events like reproduction, maybe bird migration or migration of butterflies, but also plant flowering and leafing out. Right. So I'm sure anecdotally, most of us recognize that springtime comes a little bit sooner every year, and fall maybe comes a little bit later, right? Our growing seasons are getting longer, and scientists can study phenology. Or rather, yeah, scientists and community scientists, so members of the community, can use phenology as a way to track global climate change in our areas. And it's really pretty easy to do that. So that is what I'm going to be explaining with Project BudBurst. So I always add in like more slides than I need, just in case. And yeah, I'm not going to show a video today. I'm actually just going to go right into how this works. So the first thing that you would need to do is to create a BudBurst account. Okay, so you would register on this website, and then you're just going to join the Greener JC project. Okay, so it's really pretty straightforward, and I can just kind of show you what it would look like. I'm already signed in, so it's asking me to actually add an observation, but this is just what the website looks like. It should only take you just a few minutes to go through the process of signing up and searching for Greener JC. And there we are. Okay, so create a BudBurst account. After you created an account, we're just going to join Greener JC's project. Okay, so you can just search through groups and then join Greener JC. And then the fun part is to go out and make observations. So what you're looking for, you're actually, you can always make observations, because you're just looking to determine whether or not a leaf has sprouted from a plant, or not, right? Or maybe a flower has blossomed or not, right? So you can make observations. Say there's one tree in your backyard, and you could potentially make observations every month or even every week throughout an entire year, just to track when to track the phenology. So to track when the plant starts to like bud burst, or when the leaves actually come off. Okay, so just pick any tree and start making observations. And after you have selected a tree or a flower, or even grass, we can actually do this all the way down to grasses. We identify a plant. So in order to, of course, collect data, we need to know what the plant we're looking at is. And you can use the iNaturalist app to determine what species you're observing. Okay, so another online application called iNaturalist, and I know, has anyone used iNaturalist? You can either give me a thumbs up or give me a virtual thumbs up. Do you know what we're talking about with the app iNaturalist? Okay, sweet. Okay, good. Okay, so I won't go into it. So you can use iNaturalist to determine what species you're observing. I am going to walk you through BudBurst itself, and what's really cool is they also have iNaturalist embedded inside of the site. So you can just take a photo, and they will use iNaturalist to help make an identification. Okay, but when you are collecting data, it's always best to take at least some information, right? So some things might help you when identifying a certain species, like leaf arrangement, right? So where the leaves are coming out. So here, I just have a few examples, so we can have them be opposite. So or rather alternate, right? So if there's one leaf coming out here, and then up the stalk a little bit, we have another leaf coming out. They can be spiral, they can be completely opposite, or they can be whorled. So maybe there's multiple leaves coming out from one little part right here on the stem. And so these are just some ways that if you're caught between species, having this information will be helpful. Okay, and we'll want to know the location of the plant. So BudBurst will ask for the specific location, and you want to record what the plant is doing. When I say what the plant is doing, what I mean is, are the leaves unfolding? So perhaps it's starting to happen actually already a little bit on some trees. Maybe the leaves are not, there's no visible leaves, right? So then you would recognize, you would just record that there are no visible leaves. Maybe buds are starting to burst. You would just record that. Maybe some of the first leaves are completely unfolded, all the way down to maybe all of the leaves are unfolded. Okay, so the application is going to ask you for this information as a way to, you know, to understand what is happening, or what part of the process the plant is in. So you'll take some information about the leaves. If there is fruit, which happens, you know, later in the season, you can take information about the fruit. Are there ripe fruit? Are most of the fruits or seeds dispersed from the plant? Right, so a whole range of where the plant is in terms of its fruit, and also in terms of its flowers. Okay. Even though, I mean, you might not realize it, but at least most trees do create flowers, right? Which is why all of us are sneezy typically in a few months because of or weeks, maybe even, with all of the pollen. And so just becoming a little bit more aware of whether or not even trees have flowers would be a good thing to help you in this process. Okay, so does it have flowers? And then in at the other side of this, so in autumn, have the leaves started to change, and have the leaves dropped off of the tree? Okay, so we can, again, an entire year, you can track multiple trees or plants, or specifically just maybe ones that you might maybe they're outside of your window. I have one big tree outside of my window, and so it's pretty easy for me to do the entire year, see what's happening with it. Okay. After you've made your observation and you understand what's happening with the plant, then you're just going to add your observation, right? So here you're just simply going to upload a photo that you might have taken with your phone, and it will go directly into the website. You can also, there are downloadable, like printed out versions, especially if you perhaps are doing this with a school group, or folks who maybe just don't have access to an iPhone, or just a phone in general. You can just download an actual field report form. Very old school. Okay. Any questions so far? Is this making sense? Okay, so I want to try it together, because it is really easy. And so I just want to make sure that you understand how easy it is, so that there's nothing standing in the way of you adding data to the site. Okay, so give me just 1 second. Just want to make sure I'm pulling up the right screen. Oh, okay, cool. I registered, but I forgot how to find the Greener JC group. Totally okay. I think we can work through this together. So let me share my screen again, and okay. What I'll do is maybe I'll share my screen, because while I'm already logged in, and so I don't have to go through the login process and remembering what the login information is, I'll show you how to upload a photo, and then I can log out. And as a not logged in user, I should be able to, just while sharing the screen, help you identify where exactly to find our group. Okay, okay. Okay. So when you are logged in, all that you need to do is to, it's telling us we don't have any observations of plants just yet. We'll change that. We go start observation. And you can either just drag a photo in, or I'm going to choose a file. And when I choose a recent file, Okay, so this is a photo of a plant that I took on, or a photo of this is a photo of a plant, the photo I took on the way home. And Matt, I'm gonna need your assistance with the identification. I'm on Bergen. This is on Bergen, like, and Vroom, I guess. But it had like little, what are the little, like, what is it called? The little airways on a plant?
Or like
On
the
a tree.
lenticels?
Thank you, lenticels, yes.
I'm not sure if I'm great at picking this out right from here.
I mean, I put you on the spot and it's not the best photo. I get that. But I imagine, I mean, like, what do you think would be on Bergen? And it's starting to bud already. You can see actually that there was one flower on one of the other branches.
Yeah. And you don't think it's a maple, possibly? What you noticed?
I don't know. It didn't, maybe. But iNaturalist doesn't think it's a maple though, but which is
Yeah.
okay. I don't.
And that's one of the things that I found is iNaturalist might be giving you a little bit more of a general thing. If you use iNaturalist, if you use the app, it knows your location, so it helps bring in stuff that's found in New Jersey. So on the web application, it's giving you a little bit more of a general look, so it could be harder to pinpoint species.
That's good. Very good point, Matt. Let's try and see if it's a maple of sorts. We're working through the kinks together. Hopefully this is a little bit helpful at least. I'm going to, and let's just imagine, but this is a really good example of why using the web iNaturalist is better, and also getting as much information as possible. So let's think. Do we have mayberries in this area, Matt?
Not that I know of. I'm seeing there's a cherry option, but you would probably might have noticed that. I mean, there's a lot of cherry trees.
Yeah, let's go with cherry, just for the I guess just walking through. Yeah. But what is kind of nice is that here we also have, it has identification hints. So some identification hints that might be helpful moving forward, but there just aren't any here. So then you hit next. Where is the plant located? So this plant was located on Bergen Avenue, Jersey City, New Jersey. Yep, pretty good. It's a little bit further over, but that's okay for right now. I forgot to get an exact address. And do you want to give the plant a nickname? Sure, we can call it. Let's see. Let's call it plant on. Whatever. Here we will say what is happening with its leaves. It currently has no leaves. The bud bursts are beginning to emerge. We have no fruit. And we have no leaf change. And none here as well. And then you hit save. So it is truly that straightforward. And then perhaps tomorrow I can, on my way into work or on my way home, I can get a little bit more information and edit my observation as well. Perhaps I have a little bit of a better understanding of what the species name is. And also it's easier sometimes to identify the species after we actually have leaves on the tree. Okay. So I do just want to show you one other thing. So back to the plant. If I were to add another photo, I wanted to show you that there was also here a selection for submit a pollinator report. So we don't necessarily need to go over that today, but there's the ability to actually collect data on which pollinators are pollinating these flowers, which is kind of cool. Okay. Any questions so far about that? Okay, so then what I'll do now, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen just so I can log out and show. Is it, I just want to make sure, Marge, is that, am I saying that, Marge? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, thank you.
So I'm assuming I'm the only new person in the group.
You are.
And it looks like there's a
Mark,
mark on there as well.
Okay, a Marge and a Mark. Perfect.
Okay. Well, thank you very, very much for joining and for already signing up to be a contributor to this project. Okay.
When I look at the top, like I have mine up as well. Like
Mhm.
It has my little icon and it says my plants and group. And when I click on groups, it already shows I'm in BudBurst JC, but there is a search bar. So I wonder if I
Do you
can't,
wanna-
if
can
I
you
search
share
for
your
Greener
screen?
JC, it already says I'm in it. But
Okay.
yeah, I don't know if Marge, if you were to search there. Let me see.
I don't have a search bar. Yeah,
See
I
when
don't
I'm in.
at all.
Oh, I definitely know that we can.
But I can get. There's a link too, right?
That's what I was going to say,
be like-
which at least helps Marge, but not maybe others who are just trying to
Other
find
people.
us,
Mm-hmm.
which is good to identify. But I'm going to sign in right now. And then, Marge, if you just want to put your email in the chat, and you can even just put it directly to us if you don't want to share your email to everyone, I can add you to the group, like internally. Cool. Thank you so much.
Like for me, it just gives me the option to create a group, but it doesn't give me any search bar or anything.
Okay. Well, that's very good. To know.
So here, I found the link from my. Let me put this in the chat.
Okay.
Maybe try that one. Mm,
And Marge, I did just add you, so you should maybe have either like some invitation within BudBurst.
I think when you added me the first time, Allison, it went to my email
Oh, okay, okay.
and it says. So I think that's the link that I have, but that might only be personal to me.
All right, yeah, I got it by email. And then I have to put in a code. Sorry, is the group private? I mean, but still, a search bar should have showed up.
Exactly. And
It says public group.
Yeah, and I made my account public too. Anyways, I joined. Thanks.
no, thank you. And thank you for identifying
Awesome.
an area that we still need to sort out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. So hopefully we can we will try to just continue to promote this, and hopefully people find it as maybe an interesting tool to study, and maybe just have a conversation about the effects of global climate change here in Jersey City. And I think that if we are able to make it a success, we can even see if we can get it, at least offer it, like, hey, this is exactly how this works, so that school groups could be able to use it and incorporate it into their curriculum, which I think could be really helpful.
Mm-hmm.